Okay, so in this video, we are going to look at different types of solutions we can have. So sometimes we call these special cases. So in this whole unit, we've always had a one solution. Okay, so we already know one of the solutions we can have, and that's where there's only one answer. Only one answer will make that equation true. So far I've only given you equations where that's going to happen, but that's not always the case. Sometimes I can make an equation where nothing will work for x, meaning there is no solution. Okay, so no value will make that equation true. And we'll look at those today. And then we can also have equations where anything would make the equation true, all values. So we often say infinitely many solutions. Okay, so sometimes we abbreviate this with IMS. Okay, something else you could say here too, if you don't want to say infinitely many solutions, is you can say all values of x are true. Okay, so there's just a little bit of language you could use there. Infinitely many solutions is typically just faster, which means infinitely, anything, all values work. Okay, so I do want you to try problems first instead of me showing you an example. So if you try both of these, you may get stuck in one of them. That is okay. I'll play through to check your answer when that happens. Okay. All right, so this one, we're drawing our line. Okay, again, you might not always do the first step that I do. So I'm choosing to add my 5x. I get 15x minus 18 is equal to 12. Then I have to add 18. And I get 30. So when I divide, I get x equals 2. So that one shouldn't have been any different. So that is still our one solution. The only answer that works is x. Okay, we're not really checking answers today. We're just going to focus on solving. So in this next one, when I go to solve, the first thing I need to do is distribute. So that makes 6x minus 10 is equal to 6x plus 8. Now, if I'm thinking about this step right here, something should seem weird. Because 6x minus 10, how is that going to equal a 6x plus 8? So sometimes this is the only step you need to do, and you might be able to see the answer. So I do need you to show me at least one step on these. But if I finish going this out and solving this, and I go to cancel my variable, subtract 6x here, it cancels on both sides. You don't have a variable left. Okay, so when that happens, I'm left with negative 10 equals 8. Does negative 10 equal 8? Never. So we kind of say that this is false, which tells us there is no solution. So the no solution is your answer. So some people can see that here, and you can jump straight to your no solution. So 6 times some number, right? 6x represents the same value, but on one side I'm subtracting 10, and on one time I'm adding 8. No way is that ever going to be true. So there's not really even a way to check this, because anything you plug in for x isn't going to work. Okay, so that's one you just kind of have to know. So if you want to pause and try these ones, you can. I'm going to go ahead and solve right now. So I have my 12 plus 8x. I have to distribute. So from here, I go to cancel my variable. I notice the same thing happening where my x's, canceling. They're both gone on both sides. I'm left with 12 equals 12. Except for this time, 12 does equal 12 always, which means any value of x will make this true. So infinitely many solutions is our answer. Okay, and you kind of can check this one. Any value you put in for x should work, so you could just try a couple of them. You know, I would try 1. Maybe you want to try 5. You could try negative 700 if you wanted. And they should all make this side actually equal this side. Okay, which should make sense when we look at this step. So some of you may jump straight to your answer once you see that. You have 8x on both sides plus 12, plus 12. That's always going to be the same no matter what x is. Okay, so if I do this one, I distribute first. Oops, why did I do 14? 35, 10x plus 6. So I can see my answer from right here, but in case you go to cancel your variable, okay, this is false. So we have a no solution. So 2 more to practice on this page. I'll work through these ones when you're done, so pause to try them. So first step, I'm going to distribute my 3. I go to cancel my variable. I'm left with a true statement. So I have infinitely many solutions. Or remember, you could also say all values of x are true. Okay, if I go to do this next one, I don't have to distribute, but I do have like terms to combine here. And neither one of these have an x either, so I also have like terms to combine. I still have an x, which means I'm just solving this like normal. Divide by 11. X is equal to 7. Okay, so that's one just like we've normally been doing. You do not need to write one solution here. I mean, you can if you want, but the fact that you're telling me x equals 7 tells me that it's a one solution. Okay. So there are 6 more for you to try. Okay, I am just going to show you the answers for these when you're done. So pause and play the pause and then play to see all of your answers. So do all 6 of these. All right, so I am going to show you these just kind of 2 at a time in case you needed to play to check something. So there is a little bit of a trick here. Negative x, make sure you have that -2. Okay, so this one, when I go to cancel, I'm adding 2 here, but when I add 2 on this side, I get 4. So you really have to watch your negative signs here. Some people think because you see the 2 on both sides that it's going to cancel, but one's a positive, one's a negative, so it's not the exact same number. Where here, when I go to cancel, it's the exact same number, so they do make 0. Okay, that doesn't happen on this one. Okay, so next 2. Okay, this one's tricky because there's not a lot happening over here. So yes, this cancels, but you have to write something down. So that's canceling to a 0. So this shows us that 0 does not equal 3, which means we have a no solution. Okay. This one shouldn't have been that bad. Distribute, combine like terms. Brings us to infinitely many solutions there. And then last 2. So this is one a lot of students like to say no solution for. And it's because they're like, I can't divide 0. Yes, you can divide 0 by a number. You can't divide a number by 0. So 0 divided by 5 is 0. This is still a one solution problem. The solution is 0. Okay, so on a quiz or test, if you write no solution here, it's going to be wrong, even though you did all of your steps right and you get here. The solution is 0. The only number that will work when I plug that in is 0.